Today I'll be sharing with you one of the biggest hacks I found in terms of building better prompts. And when I say hack, well, technically it's not really a hack, it's more of a tool, but it's so hidden away that it's pretty much a hack anyways. And let's start off with why would you actually want to build a better prompt? Well, a better prompt leads to a better response. And the longer and the more detailed your prompt, the better it's going to be, and hence the better the response. There's a whole range of reasons why you would want to use prompting. We might start from building prompts when talking to ChatGPT, asking for your random questions, or you might be a bit more advanced and you might be building a business or a business solution, which prompting would really improve the efficiency of. Let's say that you have 100 customers and you don't want to be writing that same generic email to each one of those 100 customers with whom you might have built some kind of relationship in the past. You want to actually have a customized email for each one of them. Now, writing 100 emails is still a lot of effort, even if you have a team. So building an AI solution for that task would be very beneficial to you because you can still have a very customized experience for each one of your customers. However, you can automate it. So today we're going to be learning how to build that perfect prompt and how to boost your company's efficiency. And it's going to be very simple. So let's check it out. So the tool that we're going to be using is actually one which you might be aware of, and we've covered this one in a previous video on this channel. It's called Claude. It comes from a company called Anthropic, which is a competitor to OpenAI. We're not actually going to be using Claude, the LLM, directly today. We're going to be using a tool within the developer's console in Anthropic's toolkit. So navigate yourself to console.anthropic.com. You want to log in or set up an account. I'll use Google, and you're greeted with a range of different tools. You got Start Prompting with Claude, which is basically what you would do with another LLM like ChatGPT, for instance. Generate a prompt, invite collaborators, get API keys, prompt library, explore documentation. Of course, what we want to do is generate a prompt. But before we start, we need to have some funds in our account because using Claude, at least from the developer console side, is not free. So for those of you who are lucky enough to be living in the US, you can just click the claim button at the top of the screen. Surely it will show up on yours as well, where you'll be able to redeem a $5 voucher, which will allow you to use those credits to start building your prompts. Unfortunately, me living in the UK, I can't do that. It doesn't work. For some reason, I don't think it works with international numbers. So what I'll have to do is go into my account, go into plans and billing, and then select a plan. And the cheapest one is build. So I'll select that. And now I need to fill in a couple of details about my business, why I'm actually using Claude. And then I'll need to enter my credit card details, which obviously I'll skip in this video. But by the end of this process, you should have whatever amount of money you've applied in your account. So I put $5 for now. And this is the very simple UI of the prompt generator. And it tells you that it's an experimental feature, but don't worry because what it does is very advanced. And you have a couple of example prompts that you can start using, like write an email, content moderation, etc. We're going to go ahead with the write me an email. And once you click that, it will auto-populate the box at the bottom with draft an email responding to a customer complaints email and offer resolution. Of course, your email might vary and you might want to do something else than respond to a complaint. But for the sake of simplicity, I'll stick to it and I will generate the prompt. And there you go. That is actually your prompt, which has been devised based on the input that you've given it in the beginning. So you've put in a very small little prompt, and now we have this massive chunk of information, and it is very detailed. So let's click on the Start Editing button. We'll need to leave the site, which doesn't make sense because I'm still in the same site. But anyways, now you can see the whole prompt, and you can tell just by reading it, and you can pause the video and read the whole thing, but it is very detailed. It gives the exact instructions on what we're expecting from the LLM to deliver. And you might realize straight away that we have two red items, and they're encapsulated in two pairs of braces, and those are variables. So when you fill in this prompt, you can type in the right-hand side of your IDE the values for those variables. So the customer email would be the actual email that you got from your customer, and the product info would be what the product was advertised as. Now, this is just specific to this prompt. Of course, every prompt that you generate in the future will have a different set of variables, and you can even add your own if you wanted to. Just as an example, I'm gonna add in I hated the three-wheel bicycle, and the product info is bicycle with 3 wheels. And based on this prompt, we get a very detailed response. Again, a very well crafted email to a customer. Thank you for reaching out to share your feedback about our 3-wheel bicycle. I apologize that you had a negative experience. And then we see a couple of resolutions. To help resolve the issue, I would be happy to process a full refund. Alternatively, if you would like to exchange the bicycle for a different model, I'll be glad to waive the shipping fees. I want to reiterate my apologies for your negative experience. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to resolve this matter. So it's a very well crafted email, which we've written in a couple of seconds, really. I mean, of course, we want to be more specific about what we're writing about, and you might want to customize the email a little bit, but I think that's a very, very good base for your contact with your customers. Let's have a look at another example. Write a Slack message with quarterly updates to the whole company. Make it fun with some emojis, because of course emojis make everything fun. And so here we have the actual prompt built on top of our original tiny prompt. So when you do this, read through the prompt, make sure that it's all correct, customize anything that you need to, like something to do with the format or the way the prompt has been written. If there's anything that you need to change, feel free to do it. So again, I'm going to fill in the details of my prompt with some variables. So I'm going to set the name of the company, just as my channel is called, Silicon Mind, of course. And then I'll fill in the quarterly updates variable with 100 new videos, 1 million new subscribers, and a brand new Instagram account. And of course you can help with that subscribers part by subscribing to this channel. And then I click run, and this time it's going to be a much shorter message because obviously Slack is kind of less verbose than emails. And you got the emojis. It's a nice little message that you can share with your company. Basically, as much as I've been using this tool, I did find that the results that I'm getting from using a prompt to build a prompt to get a response is much better and more efficient than just using a prompt to get that response. So the original way that we used to use LLMs. I really am a huge fan of this. And of course you can use those prompts that Claude has generated for you in other LLMs. So for example, we're going to be using Copilot to create the same message to our company using the same prompt. Let's see what the Slack message is this time. All right, so it's a bit different. It's not as neat because we didn't get the formatting right. I would expect all the bullet points to be one in each line, but that will be very easy to fix with just updating your prompt to specify that you want everything to be in a separate line for each of the bullet points. So no biggie here. Let's just look at one more example before we head over to the next point of the video. So let's do something a bit more personal this time. Build a healthy menu for the whole day. So as you know, I like to use large language models to generate my menus for the day. Let's see how this does. Looking pretty good. Your task is to create a healthy menu plan for an entire day based on the user's dietary needs and preferences. And so then you fill in those dietary preferences and restrictions and calorie targets. And then further on in the prompts, we see that it adheres to the user's stated dietary restrictions, meets the daily calorie target, includes a good balance and variety of nutrient-dense foods from different food groups. So those are all the kinds of things that I would have to fill in myself if I wanted to write the prompts. Whereas here, it just knows, it's smart enough to understand that if I want it to be healthy, we probably want it to be distributed across breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 1 or 2 snacks. We need limited processed foods, fewer sugars, whole grains. Let's include lean proteins, all that kind of stuff which I would need to type out myself. This is done for me automatically. So I'll fill it in real quick. I don't have any dietary restrictions. And my calorie target would be 1800 calories because I want to be on a calorie deficit to get that 6-pack for the summer. And there you go, you got your menu of items for the whole day, and it's looking pretty good. I see a baked salmon somewhere there in the middle with roasted broccoli. Sounds delicious, I might do that today. All right, one more thing I wanted to show you before you jump off is the prompt library, which is more of a supplement to what we've seen so far. So if you're new to all this prompting, what you might want to do is actually learn how to build your prompts in the first place, and then you might want to use the prompt builder to understand how you can make those prompts better. So if you navigate yourself into the prompt library, you'll see a number of different prompts that you can be using. There is all prompts, personal prompts, and business prompts, and user submitted prompts, which are empty because I haven't submitted anything. But let's go through some of the prompts and see what we can play around with. So these are the business prompts. We got Excel Formula Expert, Python Bug Buster, Git God, Code Consultant, Function Fabricator, a lot of interesting stuff that might come in handy. So let's say you're just starting off with your business and you want to come up with a cool name for it. So we got the Product Naming Pro, And if you click into it, you'll see that we have two prompts in there, one for the system and one for the user. The system one is your task is to generate creative, memorable, and marketable product names. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that you can actually use this prompt as an API request using a number of different programming languages. So all you have to do is copy that code and basically paste it into your AI-based application and start using this request for whatever you're doing. If you're building an app which basically generates names for businesses, well, there's not much more work that you need to put into it except for adding this prompt. But what I'm going to do in this tutorial is basically use this prompt in Gemini, because why not go through a lot of different LLMs in one video. So I'm going to paste the whole thing, both the system and the user part. I'm going to spread it out and we'll see what we get in return. Oh, and the actual question that we're asking is a noise cancelling wireless over-ear headphone with a 20-hour battery life and touch controls. So that's a product that we're coming up with a brand name for. So we got Sono Haven, Voyager Tune, Oral Oasis, Cirrus Cloud, and they all come with a description explaining why we actually want this name. So for example, for the Sono Haven, it says that it combines the word sono, which is sound, with haven, a place of peace and security, to evoke immersive quietude, which sounds very fancy to me. So that will be using the prompt library for you. And you can dig through a lot of other different examples, also including the personal ones, which you can see Pundit, generating clever puns, Culinary Creator, Dream Interpreter, Idiom Illuminator, all those funky little prompts that you might be using. And the cool thing is that you can also use the prompts that each one of those includes and put it into your prompt generator and basically expand them and make them more precise and customized to your needs. So I think if you learn how to master building prompts using those two techniques, I think your results will be incredible in no time at all. So enjoy this technique and I'll see you in the very next video very, very soon.